Hello and welcome to Express News with me, Deepika, your daily half-an-hour window that brings you 100 news and updates from the country and the world in 30 minutes. Let's begin. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Laos on a two-day visit to attend the ASEAN, India and East Asia summits. Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived to a warm welcome by the members of Indian community at a hotel in Laos. Prime Minister Narendra Modi shared moments at his arrival at the hotel in Laos, where he received a grand welcome by the Indian diaspora. Prime Minister Narendra Modi witnessed an episode of Lao Ramayan called Phalak Phalam or Phalak Praram, performed by the prestigious Royal Theatre of Luang Prabang. Several dignitaries, including Minister of Home Affairs, Minister of Education and Sports, Mayor of Vientiane, also witnessed an episode of Lao Ramayan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also participated in a blessing ceremony by senior Buddhist monks of Central Buddhist Fellowship Organization of Lao PDR. Prime Minister Modi witnessed the exhibition on restoration and conservation of Wat Phu Temple Complex done by the Archaeological Survey of India in Laos. The temple complex, a UNESCO World Heritage Site which is being restored and conserved by Archaeological Survey of India, is believed to be over 1,000 years old. India's Prime Minister addressed the 21st ASEAN-India Summit in Vientiane, Laos. Speaking on the India's Act East policy, Prime Minister stressed that in the last decade, this policy has given new energy, direction and momentum to the historic relations between India and ASEAN countries. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also stressed on the friendship, cooperation, dialogue and cooperation of India and ASEAN as there is a situation of conflict and tension in many parts of the world. Former chairperson of the Tata Group, Ratan Tata, is no more. He died at the age of 86 in Mumbai's Breach Candy Hospital on Wednesday, where he was admitted for the past few days due to age-related issues. In a series of posts on X, Prime Minister Narendra Modi called Ratan Tata as a visionary business leader, a compassionate soul and an extraordinary human being. He hailed Ratan Tata's most unique aspects of his passion towards dreaming big and giving back. A day of mourning is being observed in the state of Maharashtra today in honor of Ratan Tata. A state funeral is being accorded to him as a tribute to the departed soul. India's Home Minister Amit Shah, along with Union Minister Piyush Goyal and Maharashtra's Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, paid tributes to the veteran industrialist Ratan Tata. India's Home Minister Amit Shah extended his heartfelt condolences to the Tata family. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal turned emotional while recalling his memories of Ratan Tata. Across India, several other industry leaders from various sectors also paid tribute and reflected on the immense influence Ratan Tata had on both business and the society. India's Central Bank Governor Shaktikant Das reached the National Centre for Performing Arts in Mumbai to pay his last respects to Ratan Tata. Aditya Birla Group's chairperson Kumar Mangalam Birla and Ratan Tata's half-brother Noel paid tributes to the late icon. Acclaimed sand artist Doordarshan Patnaik paid tribute to veteran industrialist and philanthropist Ratan Tata with his sand art on Puri Beach. Patnaik shared the video on X. At close, the Sensex was up 144.31 points or 0.18% at 81,611.41. Nifty was up 16.5 points or 0.07% at 24,998.5. Gold futures maturing on the 5th of December stood at 75,055 rupees per 10 grams on the MCX after recording a jump of 0.16%. Silver futures maturing on the 5th of December witnessed a marginal hike of 0.28% and were retailing at 89,121 rupees per kilogram on the MCX. Indian rupee closed flat at 83.97 per dollar on Thursday. Oil prices rose in early Asian trade on Thursday on concerns about potential supply disruptions in the West Asia, with Israel planning to strike oil producer Iran. World's largest oil producer and consumer has been hit by a second major storm, Hurricane Milton, spawning tornadoes and threatening surges of seawater. Wall Street's three main stock indices closed higher on Wednesday as investors digested Federal Reserve meeting minutes ahead of September inflation data and earnings reports. According to preliminary data, the S&P 500 gained 0.7%, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 0.6%. Shares in market heavyweight Alphabet fell after the US Department of Justice said it may ask a judge to force Google to divest parts of its business to end its search monopoly. US President Joe Biden holds direct and productive call with Netanyahu. Israel says strikes on Iran will be lethal, precise and surprising. The call between Joe Biden and Netanyahu lasted for about 30 minutes. Talks also included discussions on a potential attack on Iran. Vice President Kamala Harris also joined the call. The 15-member United Nations Security Council met over the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. US calls out Israel at UN for catastrophic conditions in Gaza. Israel's UN ambassador Danny Danon defended his country's record. He said Israel imposes no restrictions on humanitarian aid. He accused Hamas of diverting aid in Gaza. Israeli military said it carried out strike targeting military command and control center inside the school. Israel accused that militants were hiding in it. Israeli army says it targeted Hezbollah weapons storage facilities in Lebanon. Israeli army also released a video showing the strike. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi met his Qatari counterpart in Doha on Thursday. The meeting comes after Israel warned it would retaliate against his country for last week's missile attacks. The death toll from the Israeli attacks on Lebanon targeting Hezbollah's hideouts has crossed over 2,100. Data also showed that 10,099 people got injured. Locals in Beirut continued work despite ongoing conflicts. More than 2,100 people have been killed in Lebanon in recent Israeli strikes aiming at Hezbollah's various hideouts. Ukrainian President Zelensky met with Ukrainian Prime Minister Keir Starmer at Downing Street in London. The meeting comes as a boost for Ukraine after a summit of its main backers was cancelled. NATO Chief Mark Rutte joined Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and UK Minister Keir Starmer for a trilateral meeting on Thursday. The trio discussed support for Ukraine. NATO chief said that the bloc will begin its annual nuclear exercise on Monday. F-35A fighter jets and B-52 bombers will be among some 60 aircraft from taking part in exercise. Kremlin dismissed reports on Thursday that North Korea was sending soldiers to fight for Russia in Ukraine. Kremlin said it sees no signs of Ukraine being ready for a ceasefire. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz received Antonio Costa, the European Union's designated next Council President, on Thursday. The two leaders held closed-door talks at Berlin's Chancellery. Election Commission of Sri Lanka announces postal voting schedule for the upcoming general election, voting to occur on 30th of October and 1st and 4th of November. For those who cannot vote on these dates in Sri Lanka, an alternative option will be available on 7th and 8th of November. The postal voter list will be finalized by 16th of October. ASEAN Secretary General Kao Kim Horn says Association of Southeast Asian Nations is viewed as a stabilizing force in the region despite slow progress on key issues like Myanmar's civil war. Japan has pledged to enhance its partnership with ASEAN countries during a summit in Laos. Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba announces to promote green and digital transformation advancement. Leaders from Southeast Asian nations met with Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, emphasizing the importance of trust and support from Canberra. Albanese highlighted that mutual confidence is crucial in addressing challenges. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken held bilateral talks with Thai Prime Minister Shinawatra on the sidelines of ASEAN Summit. Blinken started off the talks by emphasizing the long-standing diplomatic relations between the two nations. Hurricane Milton makes landfall in Florida as Category 3 storm. It is the fifth hurricane to make landfall in the US this year. As many as 2 million people have been ordered to evacuate in Florida that had been already battered by Helene 2 weeks ago. Millions more live in the projected path of the storm. The National Weather Services warned Milton would bring extreme rainfall to Tampa Bay area, increasing the risk of deadly flash flooding. Storm could become one of the most destructive on record for Florida's Gulf Coast. US President Joe Biden warns of Hurricane Milton's destructive potential, urges Floridians to take shelter and prepare for disastrous impacts. Former US President Donald Trump reassures supporters as Hurricane Milton hits Florida, criticizing Biden administration. Trump said they have done a terrible job in its response. The fury of Milton was seen at different locations in Florida. A large construction crane collapsed onto a street in St. Petersburg. No casualties were reported. Lightning briefly cut power to traffic lights as Hurricane Milton marched across central Florida on Thursday. The storms destroyed homes and knocked out power to nearly 2 million customers. The remnants of Hurricane Kerr that hit Western Europe on Wednesday left at least one dead in southern France. Over 67,000 people are without electricity. River in Chad's capital rises to record levels. Lugon River in the capital, Jamina, surges to its highest level in decades. Flood risks increase in the country. Chad Prime Minister chairs an emergency meeting as flooding continues to wreak havoc on 17 out of Chad's 23 provinces, including 8 of N'Djamina's districts. According to a report, renewable energy to meet half of electricity demand by the decade end, but to fall short of the UN goal to triple capacity to reduce carbon emissions. Global solar manufacturing capacity expected to be more than 1,100 gigawatt by the end of 2024, the International Energy Agency report says. Wild populations of monitored animal species have plummeted over 70% in the last half-century, according to the latest WWF assessment published on Thursday. Featuring data from 35,000 populations of more than 5,000 species of mammals, birds, amphibians, reptiles and fish, the Living Planet Index shows accelerating declines across the globe. Vietnam's Cham community is pioneering a significant transformation in agricultural practices by overhauling their crop structures and farming methods. The adoption of innovative cultivation techniques not only boosts productivity but also enhances resilience against unpredictable weather patterns. Recent natural disasters blocking roads have not deterred the festive spirit of the Cheyenne in Nepal, when more than half of the population of Kathmandu is going to their hometown. The Great Harvest Festival of Nepal is a time for family reunions, exchange of gifts and blessings, and elaborate pujas to Mother Goddess Durga. Colorful floats lit by lanterns proceed through streets in Japan's Takayama during the Takayama Autumn Festival on Wednesday. The festival, held every spring and autumn, is registered as UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage. World Mental Health Day, observed on the 10th of October every year, brings attention to mental well-being. According to WHO, the theme of 2024 is Mental Health at Work. California's police department introduced the first Tesla Cybertruck used by a police department in the United States. The vehicle will play a role in supporting the department's drug abuse resistance education program and other community outreach initiatives. Corpse of a humpbacked whale calf was found on Wednesday at a beach in Rio de Janeiro. A team of biologists was deployed to determine the cause of death and collect the materials. 2 panda cubs born 6 weeks ago at Berlin Zoo opened their eyes for the first time. A video released by the zoo on Wednesday showed them. According to the director of Berlin Zoo, the pandas born on the 22nd of August have started to react and to be curious about their surroundings. In Iraq's Mosul, generations-old traditions of plaster production remain deeply rooted even as new building technologies emerge. The production process that begins with the extraction of gypsum results in high-quality plaster used on construction sites in the city's old town, where heritage and cultural preservation remains their top priorities. A small town in Western Australia is celebrating a new attraction. The town, Karnama, is now home to the world's largest tractor. Locals hope that world's largest tractor will draw visitors from across the globe. The tractor was the long-held dream of 84-year-old Bob Lukins. Muay Thai, the national sport of Thailand, has been seen a surge in global recognition. This increased recognition led the United Nations to acknowledge Muay Thai as a part for all. The story of Saturday Night, the seminal late-night comedy show screened at the Toronto International Film Festival. Saturday Night, that hits the cinemas on Friday, is directed and co-written by the Oscar-nominated director Jason Reitman. Oscar winner Steve McQueen kicked off the London Film Festival on Wednesday with his gripping World War II drama called Blitz. Pharrell Williams' Lego biopic Piece by Piece will close the London Film Festival on 20th October. The DC Universe has officially found a new Green Lantern. DC Studios announced Kylie Chandler as Hal Jordan in the upcoming HBO series called Lanterns. Chandler's casting is likely to add a new perspective to the character, whom Ryan Reynolds previously played in 2011 Green Lantern film. Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried are all set to star in an adaptation of the 2022 novel called The Housemaid by author Frida McFadden. The much-awaited Bhool Bhulaiya 3 trailer is finally out. The trailer revolves around a centuries-old spirit haunting the town of Raktaghat. Director Prasar Bharati announced India's first female superhero film called Mahakali. The movie will be set in the stage of Bengal, where goddess Kali is worshipped. 22 Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal has officially announced his retirement from tennis. With his sixth double ton, Joe Root now becomes the first international cricketer to reach 20,000 international runs. India registered their biggest ever margin of victory in Women's T20 Cricket World Cup's history, beating Sri Lanka by 82 runs in the third game. Indian men's cricket team beat Bangladesh by 86 runs to take an unassailable 2-0 lead in the series. South Africa produced a superb all-round performance to thrash Scotland by 80 runs in their Group B match at Women's T20 Cricket World Cup. Argentina's captain Lionel Messi trained with his team in Fort Lauderdale ahead of their match against Venezuela in World Cup qualifiers. Home team Ecuador locks horns with Paraguay at Rodrigo Pá Delgado in FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Bolivia takes on the undefeated Colombia at Municipal Stadium El Alto, located 4,090 meters above the sea level. Manchester City beat title holders Barcelona 2-0 on Wednesday to start its defence in Women's Champions League. And England's Harry Kane set to miss Nations League match against Greece at Wembley due to an injury. And with this, it's a wrap here on Express News for now, but news and updates will continue here on DD India. So don't go anywhere, keep watching and keep tracking DD India for all latest news and updates from the country and the world. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Namaskar.